You guys absolutely love the Intel Arc B580, but it is really hard to find, so can its little brother keep up?
This right here is the gaming PC build focused around the Intel Arc B570, a graphics card that's new from Intel and is actually more available than the B580, but does that mean you should build a gaming PC around it? We're about to find out after a word from today's sponsor.
As a tech enthusiast and dare I say PC building expert, there's only one thing that fuels my carnal desire for destruction, and that's seeing someone with unactivated Windows. Luckily for you, today's video sponsor gvgmall is here to help. gvgmall is an online marketplace with game keys and Windows licenses for cheap. The best part is it's extremely easy. All you have to do is purchase a key using code TB20, then just copy and paste the key into Windows. And beyond just saving big on game keys or Windows 10 or 11 keys, you also get to avoid my wrath. Check out gvgmall today and be sure to use code TB20 to save big on your purchase.
So first up, the CPU at $144, the i5-12600KF. This is a 10-core 16-thread processor that keeps up really well with something like the new Ryzen 7500F or 7600, but honestly, it's a little bit cheaper than some of those CPUs I mentioned. It's easier to get, and on top of that, the motherboards at the time of filming are still a pretty good price. Now for the cooler, we got the Thermalright Assassin X120 in black. This is a $15 cooler, guys, so it is pretty darn cheap, and it comes with everything you need. It even comes with thermal paste, but this is definitely more than enough to cool this i5. Now this right here is the ASRock B660m Pro RS. We use this board a lot. This is the DDR4 version. We paid 112 bucks. At times, they're under $100, but at the time of filming, they are starting to come up in price a little bit, so we're really hoping Intel is not forcing the B760s, but if that is what you have to go with, you still can find some pretty good deals on those too. Now we like this board because micro ATX saves you the most money, and it actually is a good board. You have 4 RAM slots, you have one 8-pin for the CPU, and you even have some extra PCIe lanes and some RGB underglow. Coming in at $29, we have some Teamgroup Gray DDR4. This is 16 gigs at 3200 megahertz. You can honestly get 32 if you want, but we paid 29 bucks for this, making it a pretty good deal, the fact that it comes with heat sinks and everything. And we love these drives right here. 55 bucks for the Teamgroup MP44L 1 terabyte. This is a Gen 4 SSD because you do have Gen 4 between the CPU and motherboard, so you might as well get the fastest storage you can.
Now for the graphics card, as we mentioned, this is the Intel Arc B570, which released a few weeks after the B580, comes with 10 gigs of VRAM versus 12 what the B580 comes with, and it does come in at $220, which before benchmarking, I feel is a little expensive, but it could kind of be justified considering you can't get the B580 right now, but once the stock of B580 gets better, ideally I'd probably want to see this at $200 or less, but I'm excited to see how it performs. This ASRock model we got on Newegg very easily for $220 bucks. You can get the Sparkle models as well for around $220. So these are in stock. Should you build with them? We're going to build and find out. And for the power supply, good old Segotep GN650W 80 plus gold. These things are so reliable, so sturdy. They're just really awesome. Let me show you guys. It's just gonna work just fine in the build after that. It's gonna be great. And minus the return you might have to do if you actually throw your power supply, it costs about $49 to get this on Amazon. Now for the case, we have this Morovol Micro ATX black case, which comes in at 60 bucks. And Jonah did point this out. We've actually built in this case before. I don't even remember, I'll be honest with you. But once we saw this case, there are some weird things about it that might make it a little hard to build in. The fact that there are no cutouts accessible at the bottom. You actually have to run a lot of stuff behind the board. These cutouts are here, but they will still have to go behind the board. So we're not gonna screw this in fully when we do that. And also this extended plate right here for wider Micro ATX boards kind of covers up some of the fans, but it's 60 bucks, it's all black, comes with 3 fans ready to go, and should be plenty of airflow for this PC build. And I have to warn you guys, this graphics card has one bright LED bar on it. So we're really gonna have the RGB from this and the glow on the back of the motherboard. And I think it's gonna look very nice for subtle RGB. Now we're gonna put this build together. We're gonna test this graphics card in some gaming, see how it performs, and determine, should you build a gaming PC with the B570 or should you wait for big brother, big 580? We're about to find out. All right, gamers, we are doing something a little bit different. This right here is Spider-Man 2, the port that was just sent over from PS5 to PC, a game that I actually, funny story, bought a PS5 specifically to play. It's actually a pretty fun Spider-Man game. But what we're currently running is, let's go to the settings here. So we currently have 1080p, medium settings. So medium settings, 1080p, no upscaling. Now this game is quite demanding, so getting about 60 FPS is all I could really ask for without upscaling. And this just goes to show, in some games you might be able to get away with doing 1440p, but I really do think this graphics card is primarily a 1080p card. 10 gigs of VRAM is fine, and as you can see, as long as you maintain 60 FPS here, this is pretty solid. But what I'm going to do at some point here is I'm going to go ahead and switch over to 1440p. I love how I'm still stuck in this mission and they're not gonna let me escape it. I'm gonna switch over to some 1440p as well, just to show you guys what it can do, so you guys have an idea. One thing to note, and I'll be able to tell throughout some other tests, the power draw of the B570 at 60 watts under 96% load. Can we get some low profile versions of these? I don't even care if they're downclocked. The performance we're getting is actually really good. And also keep in mind, this game will be much more optimized in the future. This is day 2 of it being released, and it does have some issues. So let's go to settings here. McAllister, brace yourself. We are going to switch to 1440p, and we're gonna keep the same medium preset. All right, now we're running this at 1440p. Looks a lot better, and we're actually maintaining similar FPS numbers, which is really weird. Maybe we just were a little bit CPU bound at 1080p, but we're running this at 1440p, 60 to 70 FPS medium settings with no upscaling, by the way. We are not running any of Intel's upscaling, and it looks good. I mean, we don't have RT on, which you can turn on RT, but I even noticed on my 4070 Ti at home, this game just kills the FPS with RT on, especially at 1440p. But let's just look at settings again. This is interesting experimenting here. But we'll try some upscaling. Let's try XeSS with FSR frame gen. So you can actually run both of these at the same time and see what FPS we get. And now we're running some FSR frame gen with an Intel GPU at upscaling 1440p, and it looks close to native. I'll be honest with you. This is awesome, man. 100 FPS in this game, looks smooth. Man, for this price point, the B570 is pretty impressive. And this game, again, is early on release, so you're gonna see some performance uplift later on, but getting 100 FPS now, you know, I literally started this video saying, hey, maybe this won't be good for 1440p, but some games, 1440p, if you're looking for 1440p 60 FPS on these like console port games, which I think is totally acceptable, you can do it, and then if you run upscaling, you could get close to high refresh rate, which this game is definitely overkill for high refresh rate. Let's be perfectly honest here, but hey, this is looking good. If you guys enjoyed this game being in the benchmark rotation, let me know. I'll get further in the game so we have more for you guys to see, but hey, this is really cool so far. Let's move on to the next game.
All right, guys, we're now playing Marvel Rivals, and we're currently running some 1080p, and we're doing some medium settings. We actually do have ray tracing on to an extent. We don't have it completely off, which is cool. You can finally turn it off, and
you just got beat up by Spider-Man.
But yeah, as you guys can see, Marvel Rivals is not it's a mixture of not well optimized yet. It's a very new to the market game, and also it just seems to be a hard to run esports title. Almost everything we play this game on, including I play a ton of on a 4070 and a 9800X3D, and I don't think I ever get over like 144.
Yeah, no, this is definitely an example. We've seen some other games. We showed you all Spider-Man, and Spider-Man was one of those that seemed to run pretty decent at 1440p 60 FPS, but this one is still the same level of demand. If you want to get better performance, you're probably running all low, turn off the RT 1080p, and you could probably get that like 90 to 100, but 60 FPS though, still looks decent.
It's crazy. We're basically using 16 gigs of RAM, including in Windows, and this game alone is using 10.
Yeah, so we're using up all our RAM, so there is more wiggle room there. I don't know if it would really help the FPS all that much, but 32 gigs is affordable, so if you want to go that route, it would help.
We will bounce off the wall here. Okay, everyone's dead. That was not working. I'm gonna dress up. I don't know what just did that. I just went into space. Oh no, I'm gonna die. I'm getting Spooderman. Oh my god, I'm not gonna die.
His personal mission.
All right, buddy. You're starting to piss me off up here. Luna, what are you doing in there? Get back. Get stunned, nerds. My bushy tail can tank these shots. I cannot hit this person that's sitting right in front of me. Squirrel stampede! Oh, that's gonna be a big one, I think. Okay, no, it's not. It just kept going.
Nice.
It's supposed to turn around when it hits someone. Oh, it's coming back. Get stunned, dude. Oh. Alright, guys, I think we're gonna win. I think there's no way they could come back from this unless they have the most craziest ult. They're not even allowed to leave the spawn right now.
They said nah.
And we win.
Hey, let's go.
GG, easy. But yeah, 1080p, this card seems to be really good for a game like Marvel Rivals. I do think you could do some light 1440p in certain esports, but it's definitely, you know, not the 12 gigs of VRAM like the B580. That's actually pretty decent for 1440p.
Next game. All right, guys, we are in OG Fortnite Season 2, baby, and we're running Far View Distance Low Textures DX12, 1080p with this PC, and let's just go. I feel like I have to hot drop. I have not done the tilted drop in forever, and this is so nostalgic. Let's drop tilted, and yeah, let's see what we can get. It seems like we're very CPU bound here, the 12600KF. 12600KF is a great CPU, don't get me wrong. But as it gets a little bit more expensive, it gets harder to recommend, especially because of motherboard pricing and everything. You're getting close to territory where I would go 7500F if you're willing to go AMD and the AliExpress route. That's better bang for buck. But if we're talking about all new parts, technically the 7500Fs are new, but if we're talking all new parts that you can get on like Amazon or Newegg, this is actually a very solid CPU still. Yeah, not bad FPS. Not the smoothest, definitely could be smoother. I was hoping for like 200 plus FPS, but we are very early into the season, so things may change. Oh, he messed me up. Ah, nice try, bud. We'll let them do their thing. Got him. Oh! Oh! I didn't do that. Got him. Where's this trailer? Where's the guy trailing him? Oh, God. Oh! I'm dead. Oh, I'm so dead. I am so dead. Hey, that was a quick Fortnite run, but we tested Spider-Man, we tested some Marvel Rivals with Jackson, and now we tested Fortnite, and it's running pretty solid. Let's run some other games per usual towards the end, and we'll do some other built-in benchmarks so you guys can really see what this B570 can do. But I came into this thinking I would really recommend the B570 as a 1080p card, but if you want to play 1440p 60 FPS, it's also a pretty solid option. Intel just needs to make it a little bit cheaper. 200 bucks, I think it's good value. Let's run those other benchmarks and wrap this video up real quick.
So we're glad that we finally get to benchmark the B570 because that's one of the cards that you can actually get right now compared to something like the B580, which went very viral and out of stock quickly. And I gotta say, the card is actually pretty good overall. We just wish it was a little bit cheaper. At $220, it's not a low enough cost compared to the B580 when you're losing a decent, like I would say about 10 to 15% performance over it.
Yeah, when you lose that amount of performance, I think the B570 should be more around the $200 price point. But you know what? We got time here with this new Intel launch, and hopefully towards the end of this year, that price does come down a bit. But in terms of the other benchmarks, we got some pretty solid results. We ran CS2 on low settings to get a maximum performance here. We got an average of 229 FPS with a 1% low of 136. Wukong 1080p medium settings using their upscaling. We got an average of 64 FPS, a max of 75, a minimum of 22. Horizon Forbidden West 1080p medium settings with no upscaling. We got 70 plus FPS, and that 3D Mark score was 12,432, which is a 5 cent per point score. Always put the disclaimer out there that Intel cards should perform above and beyond in 3D Mark for whatever reason, but again, take that number with a grain of salt. But I think the B570 is a cool card. A little bit cheaper will be a really good option for you guys, or if you just really want a GPU right now that's in this budget area that just doesn't have many options, I think it's still a worthwhile pickup. So if you guys want to build this gaming PC yourself, links in the description down below will be affiliate links and they will help us out. Let us know what you think of the B570 in the comments down below, and are you going to be building a PC with one?
But as always, we hope you guys enjoyed today's video. If you did, make sure you check out our other two YouTube channels and also our twitch.tv/toastybros, and don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe.
See you guys in the next one. Bye-bye.
This PC right here will be available at PCBros.tech for a great price.
You can buy this PC or many others at PCBros.tech, and you just go to Toasty Bros on checkout. You'll save even more money, 3% to be exact. See you guys later. Goodbye.